Hello my friends and welcome, it is episode 15. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Okay, so here's the thing. This is probably the only map in the game so far where you can just basically put my standard in the bin. Because it's just pure close combat tiles. Absolutely everywhere. Let's let's downgrade this guy temporarily. So the long and short of it is that there is very little point to bringing tanks to this mission because it's just all close combat tiles. Normally missions sort of sometimes say, oh, you know, you shouldn't bring any tanks or whatever, you know, be sure to prioritize X, Y, or Z, and I still end up bringing a load of tanks because they just have good utility. But this mission genuinely is a mission where you are not going to, you're just not going to get away with it. So what I'm doing here is I'm just shuffling away my tanks. All except two. Now this gift tank. We're just going to look at this gift tank quickly. We got it last time, but we didn't really look at it. This gift tank is a very, very powerful tank, but most people don't see the potential in it. It's got 16 soft and 16 hard attack, which is very, very good values for this time. And it then also on top of that enjoys rapid fire 1.5x. The issue with it is that it's only got 12 ground defense, which makes it about as soft as a recon car. However, if you have any readiness heroes, which we actually picked up a second one, then it's amazing because you just put this on and it will always attack first, so it will shred whatever attacks it. The main issue with it, of course, is that on this map, of course, is that we still have close combat hell. So whether it's going to be useful or not on this map in particular is another question entirely. But I'm going to bring the two... let's turn these off as well. I am going to bring the two KVs. I'm just going to upgrade this one to KV. Because I can convert the KVs into artillery. And... I mean, they are pretty robust. Question is whether I should bring this or not. I think 2 tanks, which can convert into artillery, is probably sufficient. So there are a few, you know, there's a clear tile here, for example. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here, there's one here. There's one here, here, here. You know, there are a few clear tiles around. So it's not like I want to go 0 tanks. But I certainly don't want many. And the fact that I can convert these guys into artillery as required really enhances their value to me. put initiative and hit and run. These two are a great combination because hit and run is generally not, you know, obviously no retaliation is superior to hit and run, but you can get hit and run to basically be broadly equivalent if you have another hero that provides some big initiative bonus like this one does. I think this has already got entrenchment killer. Let's put ignores zone of control on it so I can use this one to dive. Okay, now it's really time for the infantry and recons to shine. And this is ironically where these these motorbike recons are actually really going to shine, because they too count as close combat. The only thing is that they don't quite have the numbers that normal infantry have got, but they do count as close combat support. Now we don't need our do we need bridge engineers? Now there's like 4 ways to get across this river. 5. And plus 1 up here and 1 like... I suppose if you wanted to cross the river here, it would be useful to have bridge engineers, but I think that we can smash our way through the river pretty readily here, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. This area is a little bit clearer as well, but still plenty of close combat tiles around. So let's put him away. Shoots first engineers, and obviously Azul infantry doesn't shoot first but is quite tough. Let's bring some pioneers. Let's take the weaker one and let's upgrade him partially. Yeah, it's expensive, but I have no replacements on, so it's definitely going to be an issue. Might as well. There's nothing else I'm going to do with that, is there? Let's stick River Assault on just in case I use them to push the city down here in these tiles. Okay, these guys shoot first and have aggressive counterattack on, so I probably don't need to over-strengthen them to keep them running. Why? Yeah, let's tone the overstrength down a little bit. Just give myself a little bit of an overstrength edge. I can always deploy auxiliary infantry if I'm desperate for some meat shields. Okay, so in terms of artillery, because we're in nothing but close combat tiles, we're going to be dealing with probably primarily infantry. So it would be wise for me to either bring the 15 centimeter or the Werfer. Now, one benefit of the Werfer here is I can take off fast deployment because it's a it's mechanized, so there's no need for fast deployment. There's nothing else I'd really want to put on it, though, to be fair. See, the thing is, you know, the Werfer comes with very limited ammunition. That's one of its biggest issues, so you can really only offset that with Elsa, and there's no way to offset the fact that it doesn't have anti-tank support except to add AT support to it, which would cost you 0 slots if you still wanted to keep it lethal. So I'm only bringing this because I'm counting on there not being many enemy tanks. Although any tanks that they have can be easily dealt with because they'll be on close combat tiles where the infantry will just murder them. So, with no need for fast deployment on that, we can, of course, put fast deployment on something else. And for me, that something else has got to be my tank busting cannon / anti-air monster. I never know what to do with this. It's a great unit, it's just I never know what to do with it. Other than have it for its role as a as an anti-air boat. I think its aiming assistance might be useful because I can just place it somewhere where it will provide aiming assistance if it's not doing anything. Okay, so no real need to change the Air Force here. The Air Force is fine as it is. Does pretty standard Air Force. So this is basically standard, but I'm making some modifications to deal with the fact that we're just going to be playing all close combat tiles all the time. This might actually be a good moment to this might be a moment to actually provide to cross-class overrun onto artillery or anti-air, but I'm not going to do that for now. Find myself cross-classing units back and forth. Unfortunately, it eats EXP for breakfast. Okay, so let's go back to these guys. So I had basically envelopment recon, and I actually think that that's quite good. We'll make this one an envelopment distractor with a fearsome reputation, and I'll mark these with slightly different colors so I know which ones they are. Oh, can these not be camoed? How interesting, you can't camo them. I guess because they sit in a weird position of being part vehicle and part infantry. Huh. Okay, I can't camo them. Well, I was going to over-strengthen them anyway, so let's just do that instead. They do actually over-strengthen quite nicely. Let's make them as powerful as standard infantry. We'll over-strengthen the two weakest ones as well, just slightly. Okay. Pretty solid lineup here. But yeah, there's really no point in bringing tanks because there's nowhere for them to sit that's safe. I'm gonna have to actually take Ignore Zone of Control off here and put Field Repairs because obviously I don't want to lose any of my precious KVs. Let's put Entrenchment Killer on something like a fighter. It will give this fighter some utility as entrenchment busting tool in situations where it's no longer shooting down enemy airplanes. And that leaves us with Ignore Zone of Control. Well, Recon's already Ignore Zone of Control. I guess we'll add this to this Pioneer. Right, one thing I want to do is I actually want to take... Let's take this guy off. We'll put Ignore Zone of Control on these guys because these guys can move 3 or 4 tiles. So they're not slow. But the Pioneers are slow. So let's pop this guy on the Pioneers to speed them up. To be fair, with him on your unit, you actually don't need a transport. But the transport adds an attack bonus, which really matters for infantry. Okay. So, what is left is to buy some reconnaissance planes as auxiliaries. Buy 4, that will do me. And we'll add 2 sets of 2 sets of disposable infantry. Let's go. 2 recon planes up here, 2 recon planes down here. I will be positioning all of my aircraft down here. As much as it is possible for me to do so. I guess I'll be leaving a strat bomber up here temporarily. Because if you look at the mission objectives, it's to make contact with the 7th Panzer Division, which is over here somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's actually here behind this wall of somewhat obvious wall of trees. Because I made the trailer for this map, so in the very original pre-release version, they were here, but I think they're now here. But who knows? This map has changed a bit since I did the trailer for it. But yeah, the bonus objective of Capture Sedan is just basically plow down here, killing everything, take Sedan. You've got 30 turns, so you've got so much time. Just plow down here, killing everything, take Sedan, then come over here, take these 2 spots, and then just push up north and clear the whole area. That's how I intend to play this. Right, so time for the real infantry. So no 21cm gun, which it might have been useful over here, but I'm sure we can live without it. Oh. Okay, so anti-air. Always put the slow units at the front so that they don't have to travel so much. Okay, and that's the deployment complete. So yeah, I'll use my spy planes to just scout this area. I'm not expecting to see anything of interest. But my main strategy here is to just push down here, just kill everything, and then push up here. I'm taking very few tanks because there's just not enough safe terrain for them. And the KVs don't have to be on the front line to be useful. We can always put them in artillery mode and they can gain additional utility. Real tanks are just going to have to be benched for this one. Because it strikes me that they've got very little chance of being useful. Neither do the hard recon cars. This might have been a mission to bring light artillery as well, going the other direction instead of bringing two really powerful artillery pieces, bringing a load of small ones. But these lanes are quite tight, and with poor ground control, the enemy is just going to be able to bypass. If there's any gaps in my front line, the enemy is just going to be able to run behind and get my artillery. So I think I want the stopping power that these provide each other. Because as long as I keep these two next to each other, then attacking one will provoke the righteous anger of the other. You know, provided the attacker is a soft target. Even if the attacker is a hard target, you know, if he hits the Wafframen, the 15cm will respond. So there's really sort of nothing else that sort of screams that it would be useful on this mission. As always, I'm rotating my units around to try and level them up. 3.5 stars is the maximum on this part of the campaign, which is quite high. 3.5 stars, nearly getting close to maxing out. I want to train up as many units as possible, especially on maps like this that are potentially easier. Potentially. Anyway, that's it for my explanations for now. Very simple strategy for this one. Cut down here. And with 30 turns, we've got a very low pace, so cut down here, clearing everything out of the woods, noting that tanks are not really much of a threat because of the terrain, prioritizing enemy infantry, especially any elite high veterancy infantry should be targeted first. Cut down here, take command of this position here, and assist in the capturing of Sedan, and then cut across here. Cross and up. This airport will allow me to scout around here. I probably won't get this airport if I follow the plan. then I won't be getting that airport. You know, it depends on how the situation develops, but we'll just push our units up. I'm pretty sure, almost 100% sure that he's on this side of the river anyway, because these bridges have been blown out. So, I guess the point is that you're supposed to get to the other side of the river, and the only way to do that is with bridge engineers. Or to dogpile your way through Sedan. And, well, I like to kick the door in, so that's what I'm going to do. Maybe it would be potentially wise to bring one set of engineers. I'll bring a disposable set. If I bring a disposable set though, and then I'm going to be paying for transport for them. Because they're so bloody slow. Two movement. You don't need transport for regular infantry because it's got 4 movement. Well, it's got 3 plus forced march. So, you know, that's 3 or 4 tiles per turn is a good pace. 2 tiles per turn is a pretty bad pace. You know, the gap between moving at 2 tiles per turn and 3 per turn is enormous, in my opinion. It wouldn't be expensive. I mean, you know, it is... It's like 200 prestige. I'm sure I'll find utility for them. 260 prestige. I can use them as a glorified meat shield as well, if I need to. Rather than bring one of my own. Yeah, what the hell. We'll bring one set of bridge engineers just in case I can't get across here for some reason. The mission briefing mentioned that the 1st Panzer Division is here. I guess there's a potential for them to gum up the works and prevent me from getting across. In that case, I'll just take my bridge engineers straight down here and just dive across the river at this point. Seems simple enough. In fact, with this airport here, makes sense to do an actual just straight dive. Straight diagonal dive down and cut across to here. Okay. And that is it. Let's hope I don't get punished too badly in these trees, because with no ability to repair, you know, once again, it's going to be very difficult to maintain a front line if it gets chipped away. Although, there is a supply hex here belonging to my ally, and I think I can use it, so there is that too. That is it for the deployment. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.